was a bit of an intermission. Okay. Let's begin. Or continue, rather. Right. The shadow of the past. Another school day has ended. You are making your way home, still mulling over the things you learned from your teachers. The founding of the empire, the eternal and unshakable rule of a single dynasty. The three estates, each with its own rights. What an odd sort of order the world has, and yet so mysterious. At least it sounds that way when your teachers talk about it. Mother is waiting for you on the porch. She smiles gently when she sees you, and yet her expression still shows great concern. Father left on a trip to several distant Magrin towns a few days ago. Since then, Mother has been trying to tell you something, but she seems uncertain. Son, could you put your things away and come pray with me? You join Mother in a prayer to the twins. She prays with fervent sincerity, her head bowed low, reciting the words of obedience to them and their greater design in a barely audible whisper. You repeat after her, just as she has taught you ever since you were a little boy. When the prayer ends, Mother sighs and turns to you. Dragoon, my son, you are 13 now. You'll be grown soon. It's time you learned about certain things that are important to our family. Difficult things. It's about your father and me, about our marriage. You gaze curiously into Mother's eyes. I'm sure you've wondered about this before. Your father is a nobleman of the mantle. So how could he marry a commoner with another man's child? But you see, Dragoon, your father, when his first wife Amalia Elborn died, it was a painful blow to him. He lost the will to live, lost all purpose. He felt like his own destiny was cut short that day as well. And then he met me. You know the troubles I had in the past. I went to the prefecture as a petitioner to ask them for help, protection, justice. When I was a young girl, I worked at a small shop that sold crockery and dishes. A nobleman took a liking to me. May his name be forever forgotten. The twins know I was humble and honored his lot to rule, but he took me by force. Mother falls silent, summoning the courage to continue. Gloria is that nobleman's daughter, but he was outraged. How could I have the gall to burden him with low-born progeny? He turned me out on the street with that little baby girl in my arms. Mother's voice is shaking now. You take her hand tenderly. I had no home, no honor, nowhere to go, no one to help me. When I went to the prefecture, I didn't really think the judges there would help me find justice against my former master. But when Sir Robert heard my plea, his eyes met mine, and I believe that, at that very moment, the twins themselves granted him the gift of their love. Your father told me that there was nothing he could do to make that detestable nobleman marry me. But he would never abandon me and baby Gloria. And if I agreed, he would take me into his own home. Tears are running down Mother's cheeks. And I knew it, my son. I knew how much his honor and reputation would suffer. but caring for me brought him back to life. It's like he experienced another sacrament. He rediscovered his noble purpose, his lot to rule and protect and care for others. But his decision to marry me, he is still paying for it today. Your father had the courage to defy your grandfather, the founder of his bloodline. If only you knew how much he had to endure, my son. If only you knew the despicable rumors we heard about the Brants all over Anazat. It was only thanks to the efforts of Sir Gregor that the Brant bloodline managed to hang on to what little remained of its reputation. And now the noble families have all but forgotten about that scandal, thank the twins. Mother falls silent. She looks at you intently. Do you understand what she is telling you? My son, I'm not telling you this just to share the pain of my past. I have no reason to complain, even if Sir Gregor has accepted me through gritted teeth. But you need to understand the heavy burden our family must bear, including our scandalous marriage and Gloria's foul origin. And Gloria, she can never be a Brant. Even if the elder Brants agreed, the news would stir up the old scandal in the minds of high society. And if that were to happen, Dragoon, they would see even your birth as illegitimate. Mother sighs heavily. What I told you just now is something you have to know, son. You are about to enter adult life. By my lot, I must be humble. I cannot tell you how to treat your family. But may I ask you a question? Now that you know all this, do you still see Gloria as your sister? What do you say? Accept Gloria as your sister, distance yourself from Gloria, or evade the question. Alright. I guess just take the obvious one. Just accept Gloria as the sister.
Yeah, okay. Just if you want.
Alright, yeah. Right. Filled with determination, you assure Mother that Gloria is and will always be your sister. You want Gloria to be a Brant too. You want her to be a part of your family. Who cares what the nobles of Anazat say? Mother beams with quiet joy when she hears this. Oh, Dragoon, if you only knew how happy that would make me, to have our family united at last. However, the joy on her face quickly gives way to concern. But I already owe good Sir Robert a debt I can never repay. He's given my daughter so much, a home, an education, his care and advice. The Brant bloodline could suffer so much from Gloria's existence. We should all just learn to accept her status as it is. Just then, you hear Gloria carefully knock at the door of Mother's chambers. Mother, Dragoon, I couldn't find you. You happily greet your sister. Yes, she is your sister. No old secrets can ever change that. Mother gives you and Gloria a kiss on the forehead and returns to her prayers. You and your sister walk downstairs together. Mother is alone by her bedside now, thanking the twins with a quiet prayer for the Brant family they have given her. You hope they can hear her. Relations with Gloria up by 1. Relations with Lydia Brante up by 1. Alright. Year 1131, fall. The Flash and the Flame. You are 13 now. Another theology lesson. Today's sermon is about the priests and why the clergy is the only one of the 3 estates with the right to interpret the lots and guide the other 2 estates accordingly. Thomas sits next to you, huffing and puffing as he fervently writes down the teacher's every word. But you've heard all of this from Mother many times before, so you take this moment to daydream a little. Father promised to take you to the capital once your studies are complete. But the teacher suddenly casts a stern look around the lecture hall and raises his voice at one of your classmates. A boy by the name of Brian jumps out of his seat. The teacher asks him to repeat what he had just said. Brian freezes and seems to shrink. He tries to muster a reply, but nothing comes out. The class becomes agitated. Someone is about to get punished. The teacher now looms over Brian. The boy's cheeks are flushed and his eyes are covered in tears. You all watch the teacher's iron-bound book as he raises it sharply, about to strike. Brian shrieks and raises a hand in front of him. A sudden flash. The teacher screams and buries his face in his arms. His hair is ablaze, and his skin is covered in horrible burns. It's magic. Real magic. Just like in the books about the Magra Rebellion. The class freezes in shock. There is a dull thud as the iron-bound book falls to the floor. I thought it was going to use gunpowder. I mean,
the Flash.
Yeah, it was talking. The bang. Flash and the flame, and they mentioned that gunpowder was becoming popular. So I was like, the boy brought a bomb. Yep. But no, instead it's magic. They could probably say it's gunpowder. It's still
magic. Alchemy.
Oh no, they already explained how gunpowder will leave a trail of black smoke. So, okay, sure, but you had a good opportunity. You already foreshadowed that, boom, like gunpowder, bang, bang. All this time. Yeah. You could have had the boy use gunpowder, but no, we're just introducing that magic is still around. All right, sure.
He's a witch.
Brian's hysterical laugh.
Burn the witch.
All right, yeah. Brian's hysterical laughter rends the silence. He stands up from his bench, fire in his eyes and sparks on his fingertips. There are screams now. Students run for the door.
I'm pyromaniac.
The teacher tries to extinguish his burning hair. Brian snaps his fingers and the books of Isatius on the desk turn into pillars of flame. He laughs and raises his arms, and the curtains catch fire. The screams grow louder as the fire howls. Brian's face is tense and violent. His mouth is spewing flames, and his whole body is shaking with laughter. He steps toward the door. You and Thomas glance at each other. He's going to burn the whole school down! Your friend's determination makes you brave. You run behind Brian and knock him off his feet. You both tumble to the floor. Even through his clothes, his body sears your flesh. Brian screams, convulses, and grabs Thomas by the shoulders with his burning hands. Thomas howls but stays put.
Damn!
Then knocks Brian senseless with several fierce blows to the head.
Damn! Get the fuck off me! Get off me!
There are servants fussing around the room now.
Damn!
They put out the fire and take away the teacher, his body covered in horrible burns. You and Thomas remain next to Brian, who is lying on the floor, silent. Soon, 3 men in black cloaks enter the doors of the school, each bearing an edict sealed with silver, the Inquisition. You and Thomas are told to step away from the witch. They lock Brian's neck in a silver collar and take him away. One of the Inquisitors remains behind to tell the students what happened. That was magic, he explains. The ungodly power that twists the minds of men into savage instruments of murder. Only the sacred shackles of silver can hold it at bay. Only the power of the twins can save us all from its evil grasp. The next day you are forbidden from ever mentioning Brian's name again. He is no more. Relations with Thomas Guerrero has gone up by 1.
Oh, okay.
You didn't have to do anything. Alright, The Nobleman's Lot. A great day looms ahead. 100 years ago, Uther Tempest was anointed to rule over the empire. Blessed by the twins themselves, the emperor's reign continues into its 2nd century. Celebrations in honor of the Tempest dynasty are held throughout the city, and the school is closed for 2 weeks because of that. On one of these evenings, Father tells everyone that Grandfather is going to bring Stefan back home for the holiday. They say families should celebrate the day of anointment together. You could benefit from your elder brother's company. With his noble education, Stefan might be able to teach you how noblemen are supposed to act. Soon Stefan arrives. He now handles himself differently. When it comes to ordering servants around and ignoring Gloria, he is still Grandfather's double, but he is more grown up now and far less haughty to you. It is a dark winter evening. A damp, cold wind sweeps through the city from the barren lands of Magra. You and Stefan are sitting in the library. He is telling you all about Eterna, the capital of the empire. It is full of so many wonders. The imperial palace, the enormous temple of the twins, the military academy, the imperial college. You have read so much about these places, yet he has seen them firsthand. Nathan enters the library. He looks concerned. I can't find Gloria. I looked everywhere. She's not in the attic, not in the sitting room, not in the kitchen. I heard she wanted to sneak off to the ruins of Millennia's palace. She could be lost in there. You and Stefan exchange looks. Charmilonides, the rebellious duke, the ruins of his palace are a dangerous place. Some children claim his tainted magic still lingers there, which means you absolutely have to make your way there and back again to prove you are not afraid of the long-dead witch. Your brother tells you to wait. He leaves and soon returns with his sword in its sheath. Get ready, Dragoon. We're going to rescue Gloria. She must have gone to the ruins in search of inspiration for another one of her little rhymes. The two of you instruct Nathan to tell your parents you've gone for a walk in the square. You and your elder brother head outside. You are confused by Stefan's actions. He refuses to treat Gloria like a human being. So why is he still so determined to rescue her? Stefan notices your expression. Are you wondering why I care about Gloria all of a sudden? I can't act in any other way, can I? The law of honor compels me to protect my family. Gloria will never be a Brante, but Father still took her into our house. I must respect his seniority and defend Gloria like she is one of our own. You are a Brante too, noble or not, which means it is your duty to aid me. The ruins of Charmilonides' palace span an entire district. The palace was abandoned centuries ago, and its remnants are overgrown with thick underbrush. The ruined palace is empty, nothing but cold wind blowing over crumbling brickwork. Even the worst scum of the land steer clear of this place. You make your way through the ruins until you spot scattered sheets of paper covered in writing. Your sister's writing. You hear loud laughter coming from behind a dilapidated stone wall nearby. You pull yourself up to peer over it. Gloria is lying on the ground face down, twitching and sobbing. A gaggle of drunk young thugs surround her, cackling and swinging their arms about. You hear their shouts. Look at the lass sitting here rhyming words together. She thinks she's all noble. But don't you worry, you low-born tart. We're gonna teach you your place. One of the louts spits at Gloria as she lies there. Get away from her this instant, you bastards, or I'll spill your guts. They respond with mocking laughter. Stefan draws his sword. The street thugs recoil in fear, but they soon notice that he is the only one armed. He's only one armed man against many. They start reaching out for sticks and stones. Stay by my side. Don't let them flank me. Stefan's hands shake, but he looks ready for battle. He is outnumbered. For a moment, you hesitate. Perhaps it might be better to run for the nearby district and call for guards. The young thugs are already armed with makeshift weapons. They start approaching you and Stefan cautiously. Charge the attackers. You grab the heaviest rocks you can find and get ready for a fight. Follow your brother's orders. You get busy defending Stefan while his sword does the attacking.
Yeah.
Or
defend.
call the guards. You leave the fighting to Stefan and run for help. Yeah, right.
Defend. Get your ass kicked.
Requires willpower and to follow his orders.
What?
I mean, I have the will to do it. It's just, I'm just chuckling that it requires willpower to follow his orders.
Damn.
It takes great determination to be able to do this.
Damn.
If only you knew the amount of will I needed in order to listen to you.
Well, you doing that one?
Yeah, no, that's the following, to defend him.
Oh.
Yeah, it requires will. It also requires me not to have bad blood with him. But yeah, we've cleared that, so. Follows orders. Stefan's firm voice fills you with confidence. You follow your noble brother's orders. It takes a moment to grab a stick, and then you are at Stefan's back, angrily swinging at the louts as they try to bring him down. One of the louts lunges at your brother with a stone, but you hit him with the stick, and he falls down right at Stefan's feet. His sword flashes. The blade sinks deep into the young man's stomach. He wheezes. Blood starts pouring onto the ground. The thugs freeze. Stefan pulls the sword out, his face an inscrutable mask, and returns to his fighting stance. You are stunned to see Stefan take another man's life so easily and effortlessly, like picking his own teeth. The thugs look like they are about to flee. There is rage and confusion on their faces. They never expected the young nobleman to use that sword. Stefan just scoffs at them. Low-born scum, that's all you are. This is the only language you understand. Good job, brother. Gloria, get up. We're going home. He turns to glance at your sister, giving the enraged thugs just enough time to rush you. You get separated from Stefan. Your back is against the wall now. They hit you hard, in the stomach, then the face, then the side of the head, then your mind slips away. When the darkness disperses, you find yourself lying in your bed. Stefan is in the armchair next to you reading a book. He is alive, with left arm in a sling and a black eye, but still alive. Your head is spinning, and you feel nauseous. You try your best to sit up. Stefan looks looks up from the book. Don't try to get up. You lost a lot of blood. I suppose that was a few thugs too many for a single warrior, even with good backup. I'm impressed. We fought like an army. The noble orders, the commoner obeys, all according to our lots. We defended the family's honor together. You know, brother, the nobleman's lot is also a great burden that few are able to bear. It takes courage, not to fight everything you see, but to do your duty. Each and every decision a nobleman makes becomes a part of his family's legacy, flowing in the blood tide forever. I think about it often. A noble mustn't act weak. A noble mustn't suffer like people of the low-born lot. A noble must rule over them wisely. A noble must ensure that they have work to do. It's not merely your own lot you have to look after. You have to ensure that 1,000 others can live by their lot as well. And there are so many more matters to take care of. Honor, dignity, tradition. It's tough. But it's what it takes to be a nobleman. Do you understand what I'm talking about? There is approval in your brother's eyes, for the first time in a long while. It was a pleasure to fight side by side, brother. Relations +2. Right? Continue. Nobility up by 1. We are now honorable. Willpower down by 5. Still full of power. What are our stats again? Nobility is 3, so we're still honorable. It has to go up 1 more to be noble. Our ingenuity is 2. We are bright. Our spirituality is 2. We are a searcher. Damn, my stats are low.
Because we're not dedicating anything. We're half-assing everything.
Yeah, that's terrible. Alright, the trial of the assailants. Before long, the entire city hears how a gang of low-born thugs assaulted Stefan Brante. Grandfather ensures that the brash young men are found. Some of them are taken into custody as soon as lesser death releases them. Grandfather seeks vengeance on those who hurt his favorite grandson. Prefect Elborn, a friend of your family, promises to personally oversee the trial and ensure that justice is served. Stefan and Grandfather decide to stay in Anazat until the trial ends. Grandfather demands true death for every single assailant. You ask Father to explain something. How can a legal court sentence criminals to true death? How can worldly judgment overrule the twins' law? Your words are true, my son. Their law is second to none. Yet the twin gods also made the empire and all its ways. The court of law exists to execute the laws of heaven here in the world. Should the court of law sentence a person to death, the law high above will always enforce it. And so every execution brings true death. The commoners who assaulted Stefan,
What say you? Guilty.
a born nobleman, have committed a grave offense. There is no doubt about that. And yet, according to the Emperor's decree, even commoners have the right to defend themselves when they are about to face true death. This means that all of us will have to appear at the trial and testify before the court.
Very well.
Evening comes. Gloria visits your room. She looks crestfallen and her fingers keep reaching for her long hair. You put away your school books and ask what is bothering her. The trial is tomorrow. I thought I was going to appear there too as an eyewitness. After all, this whole mess started because of me. But Sir Robert isn't even going to mention that I was there. Can you imagine? He says it would ruin the case. Why am I always in the way? Nobody ever mentions me. Nobody has to listen to me. It's like I don't even exist. And I thought Stefan standing up for me finally meant something. Maybe I will become part of the family. But no, everything is back to usual now. Gloria tries her best to hold back the tears. You do your best to comfort her. Father just needs to keep the family out of trouble. If Sir Robert believes that I only bring trouble, why did he took? I think it means take. Why did he take me into the house at all? Gloria runs away. You return to your books, but you can't help but get lost in thought. What if they told the court you weren't there either? How would you feel then? There's a knock at the door. It is Father. He closes the door behind him and sits next to you. There is an exhausted look about him. Son, you will be testifying before the court tomorrow.
Okay.
Please remember what I'm about to tell you. Gloria wasn't at the ruins at all. You went there with your brother to inspect this historic site. The low-born men insulted Stefan first and then attacked him. Stefan had managed to deal with the assailants on his own by the time the guards intervened. Gloria will cast suspicion on the case. If we mention her very existence to the court, the reputation of the family will suffer. Your grandfather will never forgive me if that happens. Do not let me down. We are all counting on you. You recall the night of the fight like it was a moment ago. Gloria sprawled under the feet of those cackling thugs. Her poetry, her greatest treasure, scattered on the ground. She thinks she's all noble. Those were the words they spat down at her. But doesn't Father mean the same thing when he denies that she is a part of the family? But if you do what Father tells you, the trial will end quickly. Those commoners will face true death for assaulting a noble. If you mention Gloria, things will get complicated, and you cannot predict how the trial will end. Which is more important to you? What is right or what is just? Support Father, lie to Father, convince Father to change his mind. Support Father, you will do as Father told you and avoid mentioning Gloria in court to the court. Lie to Father, you agree with Father now, but you will tell the truth later. Convince Father to change his mind. You are determined to change Father's opinion and make sure Gloria gets the fair treatment she deserves.
You want to continue the family and fuck everything up? The noble aspects?
Oh, let's see. I don't think we're in a good spot in any regard. Like,
So
all our stats are low, bro.
So you don't care?
I don't think we can care anymore.
Okay. So how you
So
feel?
just do anything.
So do what's right?
What is right?
So add Gloria to the family.
Is that truly what's right, or is that what is just?
No, that's not what's just. Justice would be just simple. They attack the noble, and that would be it. So how you gonna do this?
See.
Besides, you're gonna die anyway.
I got 2 more left in the chamber.
Got it? You get. Now that you're going to get
I'm gonna keep getting myself killed. It's fine.
Nah.
It's fine.
Now that you get true death.
Let me see here. I'm just looking over everybody's relations. Man, nobody really hates or likes me. Like it's a +2 or +3 for everybody.
Oh wow! You got your mama?
Mom's Lydia Brant's at 2.
Wow.
Gloria's at 2. Nathan's at 3. Robert's at 3. Stefan's at 2. Gregor's at 2. Damn.
All right.
Yeah, like we gotta piss some people off.
Well, that would piss them off and get rid of them.
All right. Well, in order to even try to convince them, I need to have Robert Brant's relations at 2 or higher, and it's now at 3. So I could change his mind, but it requires willpower. What's the point of having willpower if you don't use it, though?
Some things you need, 30 willpower?
I don't know. Some things require 5, some require 10, but that's about it. And just because we did unlock the path doesn't mean we have to choose it. But it is available because of our past decisions. Let me see. What's province? No. One of these is supposed to be like the stats of the family. Yeah, House of Brant. We are currently of a modest position in our reputation. We are currently in disagreements with the family.
Mm-hmm.
So we could have if it goes down by 1, we go to having tarnished honor. But if it goes down, we're still in disagreements. But I kind of want the family unity to be high. Represents how close and trusting your family is. It affects the fate of your family members.
It's only deals in school and crap like that.
No. I imagine that was reputation. That deals with school and crap like that. Not unity.
Yeah, it will, because they're going to be coming to get involved.
That means they all matter then. It doesn't.
They're going to get involved.
If everything matters, then it doesn't matter at all what choice I go for. Because it was...
Just destroy your family.
It doesn't...
Just do it. Just do it.
I don't even know how to destroy my family here.
Yes, you did.
I do?
Yes, you did.
I chose to have
do what's right.
I chose to have hidden past, so I don't get to do that.
Do what's right.
Well, I guess
destroy your family's honor.
It's only honor.
Yeah.
I'm not. No, hold on. What's my personality? I'm honorable, so there's no way I could do so. There's no way it's not honorable, so I could do it.
Yeah. But you're gonna destroy being a noble.
When my status is honorable,
get rid of
everything
being a noble house. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. But you'll be a family.
That sounds so fucking terrible. Don't say it like that.
Yup.
I went out of my way to we already got Robert to like us this much, so we can convince him. So let's convince him.
Okay.
What's the worst that can happen?
Lose noble house.
That's like beyond possible. That's not possible. You lie.
Yes, it is.
All right, moving on.
Why?
You can't do that as an adolescent. Fuck that. There's no way.
Yeah,
all right, now
see.
let's see. You look father straight in the eye and tell him what you think. You are not going to bear false witness in court. He is a judge himself. How can he make you lie to Sir Elborn? And what of Gloria? Is she not a Brant too? Does she not deserve justice? Or maybe grandfather is right, and she is just a freeloader who deserves nothing but shame. If so, then how come father agreed to take her into his home and under his protection? Saying this to father is tough. Deep inside, you pray he hears no weakness in your voice, and sees no blood rushing to your cheeks. But it seems he is listening to you intently. The wrinkles on his forehead grow deeper as his fingers stammer out a staccato against his armrest, or against the armrest. This is going to be tough, son, but you're right. You are right. I took Gloria into my home, and so I must protect her like my own daughter. This was my decision, and I must stand by it. I will speak with Stefan in the morning. Now I pray your grandfather never hears of my change of heart.
Yeah, he will. He's gonna get sick.
The day
and hopefully
comes.
die.
Shut up. The day comes.
He's gonna assassinate
Hey,
your family.
hold on.
Burn you out.
Wait. Wait, hold on. That's a little too. Give me a sec. Alright. The day comes. The trial takes place in the lesser hall of the city prefecture. Sir Elborn himself presides as the judge. You are the first to testify to the court. You tell the court the truth about that night. How the thugs humiliated Gloria. How Stefan and you came to help her. And how Stefan defended his half-sister. Out of the corner of your eye, you watch grandfather's face grow red. Yet he remains silent. There are confused whispers in the hall. The commoners on trial cry out. It's the truth. Gloria was reciting poetry, and they simply told her she was defying her lot. The situation has changed. By this account, Stefan was not acting in defense of himself or another. He merely assaulted them first in order to retaliate against those who had insulted his half-sister. You spread your feet and stand firm and inhale before you speak next. You ask the hall, is it not a nobleman's duty to honor his family name? Gloria does not have the Brante name, but your father took her into his home. Therefore, it was Stefan's duty to protect her, as he would have protected any of you. Contemptuous chuckles rush through the courtroom. You have just reminded the city of father's shameful second marriage. Stefan is to testify next. He reluctantly confirms your testimony, glancing at father and grandfather all the while. His arm in the sling is his main argument. Stefan wanted the commoners to stop insulting Gloria, yet in the end, the commoners were the first to assault him. After a short recess, Sir Elborn returns and rises to deliver his sentence. The court of Anazat finds you guilty of assaulting Stefan L. Brante, a nobleman, who stood in defense of the honor of Gloria, a member of his household. All 4 defendants are sentenced to true death by hanging. There is no wind, but you feel a gust sweep through the hall. The defendants turn pale. Their mothers are bawling and crying. Everybody in the court feels the dreadful power of the law, and it is stern and just. That very power has been invoked by this sentence, and by that very sentence the lives of the 4 young men are literally forfeit for all eternity. The gallows await. Stefan stands in the front row. Father stands next to him. The wood creaks. The trapdoors open under the young men's feet. They dangle in the air, wheezing and reaching out for support with their feet in their final moments. Grandfather's silence ends at home. He screams at you and father, at Stefan and Gloria. This trial is a disgrace. His screams are punctuated by the thudding of his walking stick against the floor. Father says they had to defend their family. It would have truly been a disgrace if they had shirked their responsibilities. Stefan excuses himself to bandage his arm in order to stay out of the argument. Gloria is quiet but glowing. You stay quiet too. It is all over now. Relations with Gregor Brandt went down by 1. No shit. It is all over now. Nobody bullies Gloria on the streets anymore. Those 4 commoners are dead forever. Their families were taught a cruel lesson. So will it be with anyone who dares to raise his hand against a nobleman. Reputation of the family went down by 1. Unity of the family went up by 1. We are now at peace. Nobility went up by 1. We are now noble as opposed to honorable. Our spirituality went up by 1. Still a searcher, but we're not soulful yet. Let's see. Willpower went down by 5. It took just as much effort to convince the dad to change his mind as it was to listen to Stefan. Alright.
Does he got a gun?
No one has guns.
Damn.
Forbidden love. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Okay. Nobility plus 4. Or at 4 or higher. Right. Forbidden love. Another day of school is behind you. You are now wandering your district. Taking your time before going home. It is getting dark. Soon you are walking past the splendid mansion of Count El Velasco, one of Magra's richest landlords. You hear a familiar voice from the other side of the iron fence. It is Stefan's voice. It is followed by the sound of a young lady laughing. You peek through the fence and into the mansion's garden, and indeed, there you see your elder brother, dressed like he is going to meet the Emperor himself. He is currently busy helping a pretty young lady out of the window. She locks him in an emotional embrace. You recognize her. Maria El Velasco, Count El Velasco's daughter. And as the whole city knows, she is already betrothed to another young nobleman from a far more illustrious family. Oh, Maria, I thought I would help you come down to earth from your heavenly abode, but your very touch brings me to the heavens. Wow. This line's so cheesy, I thought I was playing Pathfinder Kingmaker for a second. Right. He picks the Count's daughter up and holds her in the air. She laughs almost imperceptibly and kisses him on the cheek. But then Stefan takes her by the chin and turns her to face him. Their lips join in a kiss. A flurry of emotion washes over you as you watch it happen. Stefan is putting the reputation of his entire family at risk. Acting so frivolously with the Count's daughter may turn the Count's influence against all the Brants, and yet Stefan always speaks so highly of noble bearing and composure and family honor. Stefan's face is glowing with joy. Your older brother, he is happy, truly happy. You have never seen Stefan like this, as his arms hold the Count's daughter in a tender embrace, so gently as though he fears to hurt her. And Maria reciprocates his feelings. Must you really rob them of their secret joy? If you ever speak to him about this, no one else must hear it. You wait by the gate patiently until Stefan decides to return from his escapades. He is startled when he finally notices you standing by the gate. Remind him what a nobleman's honor means, or aid Stefan in his cause.
Aid him. Just because.
Sure.
Fuck the world.
Aid Stefan in his cause. You promise you will keep brother's secret. What are you doing here at this late hour, Dragoon? Is there something you wish to tell me? You confess to Stefan that you saw him today in the El Velasco garden with the Count's daughter. This affair puts both families' honor at risk, yet you say you are happy for him. You can see how much he cares for her. No matter what, it is worth the risk. Stefan can trust you with this secret, you assure him. The two of you will keep it together. Stefan reacts to you with anger at first, but your supportive words calm him down. You've got all the makings of a professional spy. But you're right. The risk is too great. Your aid will not go amiss. You are no nobleman yet, but I hope your word is worth my trust. From that day on, you help Stefan and Maria avoid attention on many occasions.
Damn.
You even have to distract El Velasco's manservants and lead them away on a wild goose chase through the district.
Damn.
In the end, you are never caught, and you earn your brother yet another night with his beloved. They are both aware that the days of their hidden love are numbered. But how will your escapades affect the family's reputation? You and your brother agree, whatever happens, happens. Young love is worth this risk. Sure is. And our ingenuity went up by one, and our spirituality went up by one. We are now soulful.
Yeah, just to do that.
Alright. The event happened. Find out about your elder brother's forbidden love. An adult question. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Conditions met. Spirituality 4. So, one family event led to another family event. If any luck, this one will also raise my ingenuity, and then I get the other event. Alright. An adult question. The day is sunny, scorching, and hot. You are sitting in the yard, in the shade of a tree, studying books about the twins' great descent. You hear shy, quiet steps. There is no need to look back. You know from the sound that it is Nathan. Your younger brother also sits in the shade of the tree. Yet he is quiet. He is not tugging at your clothes this time. That is unusual. He is just sitting by your side, breathing loudly. You tear yourself away from the book and look at your brother. Nathan is deep in thought. He seems uneasy. His is fidgeting with a symbol of the twins, a cross inside a circle. The lash bound against the sword, or the lash bound around the sword. It is Nathan's pendant. He wears it all the time, but not today. The silence wears on. Nathan takes a deep breath, like he is about to speak, but he does not. His face grows even grimmer. He looks unusually hurt and bitter. At last, Nathan gathers his courage. He takes another deep breath. His eyes narrow. His hand clutches the encircled cross. Tell me, Dragoon, the twins, they hate me, don't they? Nathan's voice is quiet yet firm. The world falls silent around you. Not even a gust of wind can be heard. It is as if everything is waiting for your for your answer. You look at your brother again, confused. Nathan, the youngest brother, the most unassuming child. He is quiet, obedient, and thoughtful. He has been your responsibility almost since his birth, yet he has never been a burden. Father was always aloof around him, and mother was too tired to even smile. Even grandfather seemed to avoid Nathan with his scorn. He just treated your little brother like a piece of trash. He never called him by name and always winced at the sight of him. Perhaps because he looks so much like mother. But is it true that the twin gods had no love for your little brother? Surely the twins have enough even for little Nathan, do they not? Nathan was born a commoner like you. His lot is suffering. Everyone is tested by the twins before their true death. No one can expect mercy along their path. He was born the youngest child in your family. That is his trial. Should Nathan persevere and bear the burden he was dealt, he shall yet reach the peak of the pillar when his time runs out. There is hope in Nathan's eyes as he looks at you.
So what encouraging words? Or doom him to hell.
Honey. Guiding others in matters of faith is the clergy's lot. You are no priest, yet you cannot stay quiet. You see his pain, you see his trepidation, and so you will tell him what you think. What you are about to say may be a turning point in his life. Dispel Nathan's fears, confirm Nathan's fears. Jeez. Confirm Nathan's fears. Your brother is right. The twins are stern and ruthless. Dispel Nathan's fears. The twins are love for all that exists.
Whoa!
We're a very wholesome channel. The Zero Dragoon channel is very. We're all about that.
At least when it comes to family.
For the power of love conquers all hate. Sure, we'll give that a shot. Dispel Nathan's fears. The twins are love for all that exists. You tell your brother that the twins are more than just law and will. They are also love. So writes Satius, the disciple of the elder, and so says Mother. And both you and him were brought into this world through their providence. It is true that their love is quite unlike the love humans have for one another. They cannot forgive others unconditionally, like mother or father would. Your parents love you no matter what, but they are unlike them. And yet the twins bear no hatred, for they descended to our world and granted us knowledge of how to live. And this is a great treasure indeed. The twins put us all to the test with the hardships they send. They watch how we follow our lots. And if Nathan suffers and feels no love from them, then that means they believe in him and know that he will endure this suffering. They know he will humbly accept it and let it pass through him. Let it purify him. This is the manifestation of their love. Nathan hangs on your every word. The despair fades from his face. He is smiling. He puts the chain with the encircled cross back around his neck again and hugs you gratefully. So they do love me. Thank you. You've helped me hold on to my faith. You hug Nathan back and hear him sniffle on your shoulder. He will remember this little talk for years to come. Affection. Alright, so relations went up by 1 with Nathan. Spirituality went up by 1. Damn it.
Noble went down?
No, nothing went down. I just gotta get it up. Your younger brother, Nathan Brante, receives a spiritual admonition from you.
I'm only preaching what Mom gives us. I always rephrase. I always regurgitate. Get beat.
Personality.
Pray to.
I need to increase my ingenuity by 1.
All right. Who do we got live to?
I don't know, but we'll figure it out. Agony.
Or maybe we had to say something.
Stefan leaves soon after the trial, alone. Grandfather does not go with him.
Okay.
For the first time in a long while, he lingers in the house for more than a fortnight. Father says Sir Gregor is ill and needs rest. Several months go by, and it becomes clear that grandfather will not recover. The eldest Brant is mostly bedridden now. On some days, he has trouble recognizing people. When he means to address you or Nathan, he calls you Robert. your father's name. But when he does get out of bed, the house grows empty. The servants hide. Mother locks herself in her chambers. You and Nathan run outside or hide quietly in your rooms. If grandfather sees anyone in the hallway, he begins lamenting. Oh, nobody heeds the Lotsa anymore, or any longer. Any harlot with a child can marry a nobleman these days. Children have no respect. His son betrayed him and let him down. And oh, how the Brante family has lost its honor. Again and again you hear grandfather knocking at mother's door, screaming that it is all her fault. He blames her for ruining his chances to find bliss in the hereafter. He blames her for dooming him to suffer at the foot of the pillar. You overhear your parents talking one night. Mother begs father to move Sir Gregor to his old home and spare the children his decline. Father refuses her outright. It is late that night. The hot, dry winds are coming. The house is empty save for you, Nathan, Gloria, mother, and grandfather in his bed. Father has left for the capital on business. You are engrossed in the history of the empire, snapping out of your reverie only when the clock strikes midnight. You blow out the candle and get ready for bed. You hear the shuffling of heavy feet outside your door. You see light in the hallway. Grandfather, what could he want in the middle of the night? You peek into the hallway once he is past. Grandfather's figure sways as he heads for the door to mother's chambers. He opens the door and walks in. You hear him saying something quietly. Your unease is stronger than your fear now. You sneak closer to hear his words. You foul commoner. I have to cleanse my sins. I have to save my soul. You are my greatest sin. You and what you have done to Robert and this family. I should have put a stop to this marriage. I should have stopped Robert from tainting this house by your presence. Why, oh why didn't I do it? Please, Sir Brante, I beg of you. Silence! You will do my bidding. Fire will cleanse all lowborn filth from this place. Fire and flame will free Robert from this disgrace.
He's gonna do magic?
This is for my son's sake. For my son's sake. For my sake. I need to eradicate this lowborn filth. The twins, they are calling for me now. I can feel it. I can feel it. I beg of you, please, have mercy. Mother begins to cry. You run into the room, unable to stay out of this any longer. Grandfather's gaunt figure looms over Mother's bed, a lit oil lamp in his hand.
Damn.
Mother is sprawled out on the bed, crying. Please, just let me warn the children. I beg of you, Sir Brante. All right. Your steps are loud enough to be heard. Grandfather turns to look at you. Stay out of this, Dragoon. Be useful for once. Worldly matters concern me no longer. I see only my sins now, and a sinner I am, a sinner. The twins, they forgive no one. They will judge me by the pillar. I must do something. I don't want to suffer for all eternity. Go away. Mother is crying. Grandfather is still looming over the bed, driven to madness. His hand shakes as it clutches the oil lamp. His eyes shine in the dark. He truly believes this has to be done. You are suddenly torn. What if he is right? What if that is the only way for his soul to find salvation? There is no going back now. You have but a moment to act. Run away to rescue Nathan and Gloria, stop grandfather, or let it all happen as grandfather wishes.
Damn.
Jeez. Alright, to do this, I need my relations with Gregor to stop grandfather. I need my relations with him to be 2 or lower, which it is, so I can stop him.
Okay.
So I'm gonna stop him. You run to Mother's side and snatch the lamp out of the grandfather's hand before he can start a fire. Let it all happen as grandfather wishes. Yeah, no. I have enough deaths under my belt. Stop, grandfather. Hopefully this doesn't lower my nobility. Or should I?
What now?
Oh, hold on. What's my relation with the family? I know Gregor Brante doesn't like me. What's Lydia's? It's 2. 2. Okay, so maybe I should stop him. outside of Nathan, everybody's kind of like on the fence. We're not sure if we like or hate him, but if I let them burn down and die, I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna hate me. Or at the very least, they're gonna be like, "Remember when we were on the fence about liking or hating you?" All right, stop, grandfather. You look at grandfather defiantly and step towards him. He stares you down with rage and throws the oil lamp at the floor. You manage to catch it, but just barely. Several drops of hot oil hit the rug, not nearly enough to start a fire. The lamp's glass is blistering hot. It burns your hands, but you still hold on to it safely. You low-born scum! You ruined everything! You're every bit like your mother. You.
Johnson.
Enraged, he takes a swing, and you squeeze your eyes shut. But he does not hit you. Instead, there is a deep exhalation.
Damn.
You peek at him with one eye, just in time to see him collapse, all his strength fading away. His chest is heaving, his face a grimace of contempt. Another heavy exhalation. The contempt is gone. There is only fear now. Grandfather's eyes open wide, almost in surprise. He exhales. His eyes grow dim. Mother is there, whispering a prayer. She is shaking violently. You put the oil lamp gently on the bedside table and call for the servants. They carry the body away. It does not disappear. True death has found him. He will never return. You spend the rest of the night with Mother in the sitting room. She will not let go of your hand. For many, many nights afterward, she keeps seeing Grandfather's shadow out of the corner of her eye.
Ew. That's scary.
Uh-huh.
I thought he didn't die.
Uh-huh. Father returns from Eterna the morning after. He is unusually composed as he arranges for the funeral. The house becomes quiet, not the looming heavy sort of quiet of the past few months, but the calm relief you all feel now that the crazed old man is no more. At last Gregor Brante, the family's patriarch, has departed for the hereafter. True death. His relations is 0. Oh, nobility went up by 1. Ingenuity went up by 1. Willpower down by 5. It takes as much effort as willing to let my hands burn in an oil lamp as it is to have to listen to Stefan's orders. Oh
Your
my!
will ain't strong enough.
The pain.
Your will ain't strong enough.
The pain of burning my hands is equivalent to the pain.
Hey, you're not tough enough.
The will I need to listen to you is the equivalent of just grabbing an oil lamp with my bare hands
and not screaming out. Nope.
It takes that. That's how much will it takes to listen to.
Old faith.
Yo, that. Like, this game's just making burn. This is a hell of a burn on this guy.
Or family. Man.
Alright.
Well, it's
Grandfather's
life and
demise.
suffering.
Your grandfather, Sir Gregor Brant, left this world, forever to meet the twin gods. Oh, man. Alright. Last respects. The night of grandfather's death shook your family to the core. Yet no matter how it happened, your grandfather, Gregor Brant, is dead and will never return. He was a fearful shadow looming over the rest of the family, the Brant patriarch exerting his influence on all the lives below him, and all of you will remember him forever. Father is the new patriarch of the family now, yet he still cannot bring himself to sit at the head of the table where Sir Gregor used to where Sir Gregor used to preside. Stefan locks himself away in grandfather's bedroom every day. He will not talk to anyone. Gloria and Nathan still jump at every sound that so much as resembles the knocking of his walking stick. Mother spends all day in prayer at the temple. And yet the house has become calm and quiet with his passing. But there is one more thing that must be done, the final farewell. It weighs heavily upon your soul. The day comes to pay your final respects. Father goes to the tomb alone, save for Stefan, Nathan, and you. Mother and Gloria stay at home. Only nobles, or those who may become nobles, may join this ritual. There is a solemn silence as you walk to the crypt. Father is the one who breaks this silence when you finally reach the door of the family crypt. Your grandfather built this crypt, and now he will be the first Brant to remain here in body forever. The first ever noble in our family. It is our duty now to hold to the sacrament of flowing blood for Sir Gregor. We will honor his legacy and join him as the founder of the noble Brant dynasty. Stefan perks up at his father's words. His hands still clutch grandfather's sword. Tradition decrees that it must remain in the niche above the owner's sarcophagus. Nathan, on the other hand, looks even more frightened now. Stairs carved of white stone lead you downward. Deep in the gloom of the crypt, atop a pedestal, you see the sarcophagus that holds grandfather's body. Father takes a moment to compose himself before paying his final respects. Gregor Brant, my father, brought our family into nobility through his unshakable will. He was a judge and a loyal servant to the empire. He lived his life as if he had been born a noble, and he never strayed from the path he had chosen. He sought to make the Brant family ennobled by the sword, so that our children's children might be of noble birth. The twins know I abided by my father's words all my life, even if I could not obey him every time. Father lets out a bitter chuckle as he says this. Stefan glares at Father, then turns to glare at Nathan, at you. I think it means and you. Man, typos everywhere. Right. After all, the two of you were born of Father's shameful decision to marry a commoner. All of you remember his disastrous passing. He did not die the true death he deserved. Yet we all must know that he fought for the future he believed in, to the very end. And he would be proud to see his family bid him farewell with this sacrament of the nobility. Stefan still glares at Father sullenly. His fingers remain clutched around grandfather's sword. Nathan barely pays attention to the words. He looks around with unease, his arms folded across his chest. Father reaches into his jacket and pulls out a slender dagger. thin and sharp.
Ooh.
All right. He takes off his gloves. Watch me carefully, my sons. Make a small cut on the palm of your hand and let your blood flow into this duct on the wall of the crypt. It will join your grandfather's blood here and flow forever. Then ancestor and progeny will become as one. We shall enter our family's blood tide and receive grandfather's final blessing. For his blood flows first in our blood tide. He will respond to you. You are a part of him, and he is a part of you. With a quick motion, Father slices his hand and holds the bleeding cut above a small opening in the wall. Then he hands the dagger to Stefan. Stefan cuts his hand without hesitation and does as father did. You receive the dagger next. The dagger's handle feels warm. You hesitate for a moment as you look at the palm of your hand. If you participate in this ritual, you will enter the Brante blood tide. You, a lowborn child, a child who is still a commoner. Are you ready to claim your legacy as a descendant of the nobleman Gregor Brante? The eyes of your father and brothers are upon you. Nathan, the youngest brother, will follow your example. You can be certain of this. Give the dagger back. You refuse to participate in the ritual. After all, you do not bear the nobleman's lot. Bleed. Requires the Destiny Nobleman Sacrament, which since we did. And last is ask for grandfather's blessing, which requires either our nobility to be 6 or higher, which it's a 5, so that's a no. Or your relations with Gregor Brante are 2 or higher.
Wow.
And since I pissed him off pretty well, so that's not possible. Say, before you dare enter his blood tide, you ask grandfather's spirit for his blessing. Nope. Give the dagger back. Nope. No, bleed. You still recall your first sacrament and how you defied the lash. You are Gregor Brante's grandson, and so you deserve to enter his blood tide. You remember that fateful day when you were 8, the day when you tried to choose a different lot for yourself. You violated the ritual in the temple, you kissed the sword, and against all odds, you said you had the right to be a nobleman. And now you must confirm this right. You must join the Brante blood tide. You grasp the dagger firmly, then hold the blade to your skin and quickly drag it across your palm. Drops of your blood fall into the duct, flowing further into the crypt as they combine with the blood of your father and brother. The fresh wound burns on your hand. What are you doing, Dragoon? Why did you have to take these two along, father? This ritual is for nobles, and you two aren't even noblemen. His eyes meet father's stern gaze. No one is to interrupt the sacrament. Indignant as he is, Stefan falls silent. You hand the dagger to Nathan. Your younger brother hesitates. Father offers him help, but Nathan shakes his head. Finally, he makes a cut, and Nathan's blood joins yours in the duct of the crypt. The deed is done. It is time to close the sarcophagus. The lid falls into place with a heavy, resonant thud. Then suddenly, you all freeze as each of you hears your late grandfather speak to you. His voice is loud as it rings in the depths of the crypt, and yet he speaks to each of you separately. So you think yourself my descendant, son of a lowborn woman? Very well. Time will tell how much nobility you have within. But know this, I am your ancestor. You are my flesh and blood. I will be watching you always, and my shadow will follow you forever. Do not let me down, boy. Grandfather's voice falls silent. You glance at your father and brothers astonished. Save for Stefan, everyone else is dumbfounded as well. The ritual is complete. Stefan reverently kisses the grip of grandfather's sword and places it in the alcove above the sarcophagus. Once all is done, you leave the crypt together. Cool, fresh wind blows in your face as you return to the surface. Stefan storms off to the carriage, fuming. Father stops halfway to the carriage and hugs Nathan and you briefly. Now your blood belongs to the dynasty of Sir Gregor Brante as well. Relations +1 with Robert Brante. Alright, Blood Tide event has happened. You join the Blood Tide of the Brante family. There we go. The Poets. This event is a consequence of your previous actions, ingenuity for hire. The Poets. Today you and Thomas are to explore the streets of the Castle District. You delve deep into the district, right to the old siege walls of Anazat. The city needs these walls no longer. There are no more enemies left for the Empire to fight, since the twins descended and chose the Tempest dynasty to rule the Empire. It has spread one sea to sea, bringing its rule and peace for many generations. The two of you gaze in awe at the old charcoal black marks on the former fortress walls. They say magic wielders during Char Melanidas' rebellion could conjure gusts of fire with their own hands. The rebellious Duke fought against the Emperor and the Church of the Twin Gods in the days of yore, but nothing remains of his rebellion now save for scorched ruins and parched land throughout Magra. I'm beginning to think I should have had my ingenuity up by 4 sooner in this chapter. You know, since it's mentioning magic now. God damn it. If you wanted magic to be... If they wanted to foreshadow that magic exists, they shouldn't have put it behind an event that requires my stats to be a certain level.
Well, you still ain't gonna get no magic. You can get will, but no magic.
You would know. Going on. You and your friends study the old walls and daydream about the battles that took place here during the rebellion. But then you hear a muffled voice coming from somewhere below the ground. You look around and find a hole in the brickwork where the sounds are coming from. Naturally, you take a peek. You see a half-ruined hall built below the ground and a handful of young men and women standing there in the dark. I think it means they look. Yeah. They look a little bit older than you and are wearing plain shirts and dresses. A young man is standing on a piece of crumbled wall, reciting some of his poetry. It tells the story of a nobleman who fell into a puddle thanks to his gaudy cloak, and none of his noble bearing was of any help. He ends it with a farcical bow. You hear applause and laughter. He gets down from the crumpled wall, and a young girl takes his place. You cannot see her face in the darkness, but hers is a voice you could recognize anywhere. It is Gloria. Your sister begins to recite a poem she has written. Nay, Gloria, yours is no proper life. You are to be a mother and a wife. Accept the kitchen apron for a gag, and lo, another voice now takes a crack. You're straying from your lot, you've got some nerve. Eyes down and obedient and serve. Your husband, children, house, they are your absolute. Nay, Gloria, you are but rotten fruit. You lean down to hear her better, but sand and stones fall from under your feet and into the underground hall. Gloria looks up and meets your gaze. Thomas pulls you away from the hole. So they're reading poems. Imagine that. They sure hate nobles. And even Gloria. I never thought your sister could do that. But they're sure gonna get in trouble if they get spotted by an adult. Bad-mouthing a noble will get you flogged into next week. Not to mention all the trouble you can get into for writing poems if you're a commoner. You better tell your sister to lay off. We'd better stay away from them too. You nod. Being around these people puts Gloria in great danger. But you know your sister. It will not be easy to tell her this. Your adventure in the castle district is done for tonight. You and your friend return home. During dinner, Gloria will not look at you. Her hair is all disheveled. Is she afraid or is she ashamed? You are also worried sick. These literary gatherings may spell danger for your sister, but for an illegitimate child like her, there are so few ways to forge her own path. Dinner is over. Soon you and Gloria are alone at the table. What are you going to tell her? Convince Gloria to leave the society, or keep Gloria's secret? Let's see. If anyone ever hears about this poets gathering, it could be bad for Gloria. But keep the secret. You promise to keep your sister's secret safe and help her. Yeah, I mean, we already helped Stefan. It's like shit. Gloria finally looks at you. You wink at your sister and promise to keep her secret. You praise the poetry you were able to overhear and confess that you were impressed. A big joyous smile appears on her face. I'm so happy, brother. I thought you were going to tell me to stop going there and say what Mother says about my lot, but I'm glad you're not like that. Me and my friends, without our poetry, we don't have anything else left. Nothing but our abysmal daily lives. At least we can laugh about it this way. You get serious and tell her that her friends need to work much harder to hide their meetings. After all, this secret passion could end badly for them if they get caught. The best way out of this is to meet in a new place every time. You list off several abandoned places nearby where nobody will look for them. You promise her that if she ever comes close to danger, you will be there to protect her. Gloria nods and plants a kiss of sisterly joy on your cheek. Relations with Gloria up by 1. Ingenuity up by 1.
Yeah!
We are now enterprising.
Yeah!
Alright. You discovered the secret society your sister Gloria has joined.
To where we don't know nothing about the church, nothing about this, nothing about the nobles, or the law.
That's not true. We have, we are soulful. We have our spirituality is up by 5. We are more in spirituality than Oh man, we are so fucking average. Look at this. All our stats are 5.
Yeah.
5 out of 10. God damn. Gotta sing that average man song. I'm so fucking boring. Alright, we are going to call it for now. Thanks everybody who stopped by. Be on for more of the story of Dragoon Brant at a later time. Until then, take care.